So let's cover today quickly this new tool. It's basically you create instructions in Excel. Let me start it. So you just download it, unzip, and start exceljs.exe. Let me just remove from previous demo. I had some stuff, so we don't need it. We'll start from scratch. So what I usually do, I start from scratch. I create a test set for my test cases. I can call whatever I want. Let's say smoke test. And then I right click and I add new Excel files for my test cases. Let's close this. Call it ticket. So when I double click on it, it will open it in Excel. It will have template for my test cases. So today we'll use simple AUT for testing. It's basically to create tech support tickets. So it has a login page. So because it has login page, I need to put instructions for login. So I'm gonna add one line before test case start, and I'm gonna call it login module.login. And it will be data driven, so I'll have my login data. And now if I press Ctrl-Shift-G, it will create new data sheet where I can put my username and data. So you see it created a new sheet for my test data. So I type test data. Yeah, return back to instructions. Now, based on this test data, I can generate my instruction code. So if I press Ctrl-Shift-G in this cell, it will automatically generate instruction code. Oh, strange, what happened? Okay, let me close it, open again. Okay, press Ctrl-Shift-G again. Okay, this time it will ask me what type of commands to put inside this login instruction and what kind of, where to put my object repository. So I'm gonna say put it in login page, object repo. Okay, here you go, generate instruction. So it will enter email and password, but I need to add navigation. So I need to add one more command. Have you used test automation tools before?
Yeah, a little bit. Kind of recording playback and customization of it.
Yeah, you see recording playback, they kind of produce not maintainable code because they have everything in one place. You have your CSS selectors and test data, everything in one function. Yeah, but here we separate. We have a good structure. We have object repo. We have reusable instructions. And I need to click login button, so I call it login button. So let's go to object repository. So login button is not an object repository yet. So now if I press Ctrl+Shift+G here, it will create object repository. Yeah, so you see this, this is a JavaScript file where we encapsulate all web elements related to login page. So now it's a template where I need to put selectors to find my elements. So email will be attached to email selector. And here I need to put meaningful name for reports, because for management, they don't understand CSS selectors. They want to see meaningful names on reports. So I call it better something meaningful, like email field. Okay, so we created object repository. We have all commands for login instruction. We return back to Excel, save it, and we can try it. For now, we can comment out this line and this line because we don't want to close the browser yet. So let's start it. So right from the tool, I right-click. I can right-click and run multiple Excel files or single Excel file. I can select number of parallel executions. I can select browsers. And I start it. So first it should open the browser and then do login instruction. Okay, so if I go back, it didn't click login button. So I suspect that my selector for login button was wrong. So I'm going to verify it. I put button type submit. Yeah, it's button type submit. Go back to object repository to verify. Yeah, I shouldn't have used this hash sign because it's just a selector. It's not by ID, it's by button and attribute type equal to submit. So I fixed object repository and I rerun it. Okay, this time it worked. Let's continue with test case. So I'll have negative and positive test cases. So let first test case be negative one, where I enter ticket information without subject line. So test case one negative, no subject, for example. So I need to create keyword to fill ticket form. So this time it will be ticket module. Fill ticket info, for example, fill ticket info. And here I put reference to ticket data. So it's like ticket data. It will be a new data sheet that will hold test data for tickets. So I press Ctrl+Shift+G, it creates new data sheet here at the bottom. For ticket, I need subject. I need a description. For subject, I can put subject and I can put this postfix unique and number of unique digits, for example, 7. So at runtime, it will generate test data which will be randomized. So every time it will be unique. So there will be no collision in the system. Okay, so I have my ticket data created. Now, again, I need to generate field ticket info instruction. So I press Ctrl-Shift-G, and based on that ticket test data, it will generate instruction. This time, my object repository will be called ticket page. So all web elements from ticket page will go to ticket page object repo. Okay, so it created new instruction that will fill subject and description. And I need to add navigation to that page. It will be ticket. Let me double check the name of the URL. Yeah. Tickets create. So put here URL to the new ticket page. And now I need to click on create button. So click page.create button. Now I press Ctrl-Shift-G here on this line to generate object repository for ticket objects. So this create button plus I need this subject and description. So in each line I press Ctrl-Shift-G, it will add this web element. Subject description and create button. Wait, why it took me to ticket page? Oh, yeah. It should be ticket page dot create button. Okay, so now it should work. So we have subject description create button. Again, I need to add selectors. Selector subject by ID. Selector description. And button. Meaningful name for reports. Oh, I didn't show you when we run login instruction, there was some report. Here it is. Login button. Yeah, let's forget about it now. Let's see final reports because I fixed that repository. Okay, so we have object repository for ticket page. We have ticket instruction here. And let's go back to Excel. So we have instruction to fill ticket information. And another one is to verify. So for negative test case, we need to verify error message. When subject is empty, there should be error message under subject line. So we need to put an instruction to verify error messages. Verify messages. And where we need to get our messages, we put them in the same data sheet. So I copy this line, reference to row number 2 in ticket data. I go there, and I need to put my error messages here. So it will be I will add error message for subject line, error message for description line. And when we do positive test case, there will be a success message. So we need to add it here. And let's see what the message should be. We'll just copy it. So I keep subject empty, I click create, and I want to see error message. So here it is. Subject field is required. So I'm going to put this here in plain text. So this is test data for our first test case. I keep other two messages empty because they're not relevant to this test case. Okay, so this test case is ready. We have field instruction and we have verify messages instructions. Verify messages is not yet, we didn't generate it. So I press Ctrl+Shift+G to generate it. And I need verify type of commands. And same object repository ticket page. Okay, you see it created second instruction. It will verify our messages. Data driven, so it's all data driven. Messages coming from Excel. Let's go to object repository because we need to add objects for messages. So you see these three lines. Those are web elements for messages. We need to put selector. And selector, I believe it's error in subject. Error in description. So if developers update CSS selectors in application, we can maintain our script easily by updating this object repository. Okay, we are done with object repository. Let's go back to instructions. Let's go up to Excel. Yeah, so basically we're ready. Our test case, negative test case for verifying error message in case subject is empty is ready. So we can start it and see what happens. This is old. Let me go back. Okay, starting. Wait. It executed type subject, type description, but all right, my test data is wrong. Yeah, let's go back to test data. So Ctrl+Shift+G. Yeah, because it's negative test case, subject line should be empty. So I remove this test data. Yeah, subject line empty, save it and run again. Okay, subject empty. Okay, we got error message. And let's see report. Okay, good sign, report is green. So it shows, you see it's a drill down. This is my test case level. Sorry, this is my test suite level where I have all test cases. Then I can drill down to test case level, and then I can drill down to steps level. So I have my steps here. So navigation passed, typing description passed, clicking create button passed, text assertion, text verification passed. So we are good. We are good for first test case. So we created first test case. Now the beauty of this tool, you can copy paste. You can reuse instructions and just copy paste test cases and change test data, and you have new test cases. So second negative test case will be verifying error message if there is no description. So I say no description. We'll keep description field empty. So all I need to do is change ticket data, my test data. So I change line number, go back to datasheet, and this time I'll have no description, but I'll have subject. Description will be empty for this negative test case, and error message should be verified in this field in description line, and error message will be this time will be the description field required. Okay, so description field is empty, and we should verify for different error message. Save, and we are done with the second test case. So second test case is ready, and let's create third test case. And third test case, we can have positive test case when all data is valid. Change the ticket number, test case number. You follow me? So far, so good?
So far, so good. Yeah, very good.
Okay, positive. All subject, description, and non-empty. Okay, we change reference to test data. And we create our test data with non-empty subject. And success message should be this. Okay, that will be message for a positive test case. Okay, so test data is ready. Instructions are ready. Okay, let's start it and see all three test cases. Okay, let's see report. All three test cases passed. We can drill down to steps. We can see that the message was verified. The second test case, different message. And for positive test case, yeah, we have success message. So that's the beauty, basically, when you create instruction once, and then you reuse it for a lot of test cases. Just pass different reference to test data. Yeah, once I reused these two instructions for 15 test cases. So I just created them once and copy pasted 15 times with different test data and covered a lot of coverage. What else can I show you? Like, any questions so far?
No, very good. A lot of the time that we have found is that some broken links, like, so if you go to the pages, and you have to test the website.
Sorry, your voice breaks. Can you maybe close microphone to your mouth closer, like, or speak up?
Sure. Can you? Is it better now?
No, still bad.
How's that?
Oh, now it's
Can you hear
better.
me?
Yeah, now it's
Okay.
super.
So, okay. So, a lot of the time that when we have to work on is that for banking application and some booking application, these are great tools to have. Some of the small companies, what they have, they do deployment of the web page. They have to go through each one of those links to make sure that certain thing pops up. So as soon as you do a deployment, that we want to make sure that we go through each one of those links to make sure everything, menu items, sub menu items, things pop up, show it on the screen, then that goes on. Kind of like a sanity check. So something can be done here as well, of course.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, sure.
Okay. Along with the functionalities. So I have seen now, one of the problem that I have is that does it recognize the web grid and elements? For example, when you go into just like, inside that you see all those people that are purchasing tickets. Is there a JavaScript there that you have written down? If you go back one page, you will see all the tickets, all the customers. Yeah.
This, yeah, you
This
mean
one. Yeah.
HTML
Yes.
table. Yeah, it recognizes HTML table. Yeah.
HTML table.
Let's add it
Okay.
now. Yeah, I remember. I have special utility function that universal for HTML pages. It recognizes HTML page, and it can verify row if you have row by subject line. Yeah, let me show you. Let me show you right here. We can add one more instruction to verify in HTML table. So I'll put it module verify in HTML table. And we're gonna reference same row. Let's generate it. We use same repository ticket page. This time I just need data access. Okay, so I'll look for row by unique subject. So HTML row will be found by unique subject. So we have this special function, find row in HTML table. And you see I have documentation. So when you start type command, it brings you autocomplete with documentation. So it describes each function. For example, find row in HTML table, it has two parameters. It has like two necessary parameters, and then you have identifiers for your row. So we're gonna put ticket page dot table and next button. So ticket page pagination next button. Because HTML table can have multiple pages. So this is a smart function. It will iterate through each page until it finds your specific row. And we'll find row by subject. And here I need to put this if it's not null, return else, return not found. Not found. And I need to put two objects, two web elements. One is my table. My table. Let's find out what is selector for HTML table. Table with ID ticket list. Super. So I put here. Yeah. And I need a special next button because I have many pages. So I need to click on this next button. So it's a element with attribute rel equal to next. Okay, super. Okay, object repository. We have table, we have a pagination next button, and here for verify an HTML table, we have final HTML table. I'm just double checking pagination next button, and we search by subject, which comes from row. Okay, and one thing here, I can use expected value, expected result. Usually you don't need it, but here we have two cases: found and not found. I put that return value should be found. Okay, and subject line will come from row number 4. Okay, so keeping the fingers crossed, let's run it. Let's run it. It should recognize the HTML table. It should move to through pages, and if it finds subject on any page of HTML table, it will return found. Oh, I missed navigation. Yeah, now it will fail. But let's wait until it fails. Because I have to go to that table page first. So you see, the last test case, it says no such element, unable to locate ticket list. Yeah, because there is no navigation. So I'm going to fix it now. So here I need to put navigate and navigations to this page, tickets. Okay, fixed. So after we created the ticket, we navigate to ticket list page, and then we use find row in HTML table. Okay, let's start it again. Save. Yeah, Excel is a great way to organize your test cases. It gives so much visibility. Unlike script, you can see exactly where test case starts, where it ends, and because it's so visual. Okay, so it took us to tickets page. Oh, now it goes through all pages. So I guess that the ticket that we created goes to the last page because it's by ID number. So it will find on the last page. Right, so it found it. Let's see the last step. Searching HTML table for row containing values, subject, and our unique subject line, and result found. Yeah, so great. We iterated through every page, and on the last page, we found it. Yeah, so see, it's very easy to work with HTML tables in this tool. If you work with Selenium, you have to write a lot of code. You have to write a loop to iterate through page, and then you have to click on next button, so the code becomes ugly. But here, like it's you know, just one line of code to work with HTML tables.
Very interesting. Very interesting. You put in a lot of effort to it. How
Yeah,
long did
yeah.
it, how long did it take for you to come up with this suite?
Well, I spent almost 2 years, maybe like 1.5 years for developing and then 6 months for polishing. Yeah, like I try to achieve.
Of course, a lot of work.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
lot of work. Now, the other thing is that there are a lot of components they use in terms of using web. This is for pure web application, but some of the web application use some enterprise, like earlier version of Visual Basic and some of the Microsoft tools to run the application. Does your tool provide compatibility, or we need to purchase or get the different versions of add-ons that you would see on Quick Test Pro and other test suites? Do you follow what I'm trying to say?
You're asking if it can test desktop application like written in Visual Basic, right?
Not so much desktop web application, but not written in, let's say, pure Java or standard HTML format. But some of those I cannot specifically recall. There are there are mid-tier applications that are written on a unique space platform that you use the monochrome screen and that kind of thing. Does your tool allow you to go into those screens?
Well, if it's a Flash component, then it will be a problem. But if it's like you can write web application using any technology, you can use Node.js, you can use Java, whatever, as long as it renders HTML5 compatible web elements. Because backend technology doesn't matter. You can use whatever you want, Angular, React, Visual Basic. They all produce HTML5 DOM tree, which is rendered in web browser. So as long as they produce this HTML5, which is a standard for last 5-6 years, this tool will be able to work with it. Doesn't matter what backend technology is used to generate the page.
Now, one of the requirements that we have is that what we do is that we run multiple test cases on multiple machines. So can I plan and make an execution of the test suite? So I'm saying, okay, run this 20 test cases in this machine, run that 20 test cases into the other machine, and at the end of the day,
Yes. Yeah. Let's say this is a smoke test, but let's say you have regression test with thousands of test cases, and you want to distribute them. Yeah, you can do this when you start it. You can select Selenium Grid, and Selenium Grid is a distributed nodes where you can have different platforms, or you can have same platform. Doesn't matter. It's like a network of virtual machines or physical machines, so it doesn't matter. And you can select here, it's like a central node hub, and you have, let's say, 10 connected machines. And if I press start now, it will distribute your Excel files to 20 different machines.
So depending on how you have defined the hub.
Yeah, depending how you define the hub. Yeah, depending how many nodes you have. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. And how does your this test suite measure against running some performance test cases? For example, I wanna see the responses. I wanna see the how does your test case run? I mean, you randomize a lot of things. Does it support the view user? I want to have 20 user connecting to this PC, running this application concurrently, run these steps concurrently, and how does the responses of the application under test degrades the performance? Can we do something like that as well? Do you follow what I'm trying to say?
Yes, I understand. You kind of move to performance testing. No, this is not really for performance. You can run concurrent tests. You can use hub, and you can run on 20 different machines. but for real performance tests, you need more than that. For real performance tests like JMeter, they don't run in web browsers. They use web requests, raw web requests, so they can simulate much more users. They can simulate thousands or 10,000s of users. But because we still uses browsers to execute functionality, it's not really for performance testing. Maybe just concurrent testing of 10, 20 users, but not like thousands of users, because you don't have, machines will not have enough resources, because browsers, they have big memory footprint. You cannot run so much requests.
Yeah, the other thing that I wanted to see when you run, so you have these test cases working perfectly. Why don't you go to the taskbar and start, open up your resource utilization? I like to see what type of weight does it create on your app when it is under execution. Task manager, show
task
your
manager,
memory utilization.
Memory, okay. You want to start and see memory utilization, right?
Yeah. So open up the memory utilization, and then you run the app. And I like to see how does your memory get. Double click on that. I want to see it on the big screen.
Yeah. Okay. So memory.
So it is 5.8 GB currently under utilization, a little less. So it has been quite steady, not that spike that I anticipated when you run that. So yeah.
Well, it's because we run in one browser, but when, let's say you have 20 Excel files and you use 20 threads, it can be heavy, yeah.
I see. So it is not like the, so, why did you kickstart the test? Can you do it for three iteration like now?
3 iterations. Okay, let's do this. Let's cancel this. Yeah, let's add the same Excel file, but with different instances. Yeah. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna add more instances. Add more instances, and then we start 3 parallel threads. Okay, start. And task manager. That's here.
Don't make it full screen. Yes, that's good. So 5.8 to 6.2. 6.3. Okay, good. I like to push it.
Yeah, you see, 3 windows. We have 3 browsers.
Right. Because if you're running testing on a heavy application, if your application is taking up too much resources, then application under test is not going to have that much of a effect, because your system is taking up resources rather than it is allowing browser to work with it. You follow what I'm trying to say? The logic that I'm coming from?
Yeah. No, this is very lightweight. It's written in Java. It's very optimized. It doesn't take much resources. We can go and see how many resources it has. So let's see it finish all three Excel files. Yeah, you can see in each one we have 3 test cases, all passed. Yeah, all passed. Let's see how much memory the application itself takes. Java. Let's find the process. No, not this one. Yeah, this is Excel.js. Yeah, so it's only 108 megabytes. So the application itself, takes very little memory.
That's very good.
Yeah. Oh, and let me show you. It automatically takes screenshot in case of failure.
That's kind of critical in terms of creating defects, because and that was the thing I was aftering. I wanted to know is that because a lot of the time you have to log defects. Does your system allow defects to be managed in one area? So for let me go through a scenario with you. So you run an execution of smoke test. Everything passed. Then you move into the regression test of particular functionality. Then 20 test cases fail. And then you log defects. Those defects been fixed. Then you verify it manually. Now you want to run the regression test once again, running those 20 that failed first. Would you be able to create this kind of scenario? Because it's kind of a test management scenario that helps us to, minimize the waste of testing time. Because a lot of the time, preparing what to run, what not to run, is a big important question for somebody to answer, management to answer, because you may not have enough time for you to weed out the critical test cases rather than test everything all at once. Then 8 hours later, you realize those out of 20 test cases, 12 of them failed. You follow what I'm trying to say?
Not really, but here, like you can, for example, it's like your test case management tool. You for example, quickly can, like you want to identify the most important test cases, and you can say something like release.
Prioritize the test cases. So I like to have a category on your data sheet for you to prioritize. Okay, if I want to run smoke, these are the test cases. If I want to run priority one, these are the test cases. If I want to do
yeah, exactly. Yeah. You gave me a good idea. Priority one. Yeah, let's call it this instead of release. So you have a group, and here you can drag and drop. You can drag.
Okay, drag and drop. So that means you create another instance of your test cases.
Yeah. Look. It will go to this. Let's say you don't have enough time. You want to execute only the most important ones. You put them in priority one, and then you execute only this part. Yeah.
Right. Similarly, what I want to say, I have executed this test set. Out of the test set, this 20 failed. So when I rerun the suite, I want this 20 set to be 20 for this particular component of this regression test or the smoke test. I want this 20 test cases to be run. So this is now, this time my criteria has changed from priority one to the test cases that has failed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I want to. So that's another requirement as a test manager. I have to make sure that, I can tell my folks, okay, find the 20 test cases that has failed, run it again through automation, because I don't want them to run it manually. Because if they do it manually, it's just going to be a waste of time. I want to do it automation so while they can concentrate on the other areas. But my tool to be flexible enough for me to know what to carry, what to do with what. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Usually I do it from reports. Like I go here.
Show me the reports. Okay.
It will be highlighted red. So you'll see here it failed. So you know which Excel sheet where it failed. So I'll create another group. I'll go here and I say, this time I say
fail verification.
Rerun failed. Yeah, rerun failed.
Yeah.
Rerun failed, and I just drag and drop whatever failed, and I can see it from report here.
Okay.
Let me show you how it fails. For example, let's go to object repository and make a mistake. For example, let's make a mistake here, H3 instead of H3. I'll put a different selector. So now it will not be able to find with a web element, and you'll see failure. So I'll show you how report will look like. So smoke, you can remove this. Have you used Quality Center before?
Yes.
So you remember in Quality Center, you can also drag and drop your test cases. You can organize your test run.
And that's exactly that. These are some of those functionalities that I would like to have in this tool for us to utilize. You know what I'm saying? and bank and major corporation, they heavily use quality center, and that kind of the reason that you need to provide similar functionality at a ease, at a higher level of reporting capability for them to see what type of effort needed for the defect to be fixed, what kind of effort needed, what was the turnaround time, how many times this functionality has failed, all the kind of metrics that helps a development team to be more mature over the time. Because if you can provide good metrics, if you track the good metrics, you can provide good feedback for the development team.
Right, right. So that's how it looks. Because I changed selector, it cannot find the
Yes.
web element, so it's kind of. And here, the beauty of it for your developer can jump to the line of code that failed. So if I click here, it will take developer. And as a developer, you can use this screenshot to create defect report. So you see, like we have screenshot right here.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, for logging tickets and everything, this screenshot is definitely needed.
Yeah, and based on there is a lot of verbose information. So for your developer to maintain the script, they can figure out, oh no, web element found. Let's check selector. Selector is wrong. Okay, click on that line. Click on that line. Takes me to Notepad++, to exact line where it happened. Okay, so I go to object repository, I verify selector, I change it, and I rerun it. So basically 2 steps, you just need to do 2 steps for your script maintenance.
No, very good, very good. Thank you. Makes sense.
Yeah, you're welcome, you're welcome.
You put a lot of work to it, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, play with it. If you have any questions, let me know. We can do another demo. No problem.
Right. So you are based in Vietnam?
Yes, I'm Canadian, but 7 years ago I moved to Southeast Asia. I lived in Thailand, and now I live in Vietnam.
Okay. Okay, I'm a Canadian too. I'm in Bangladesh right now, working on a World Bank project. So,
Nice.
So which part of Canada you're from?
Toronto, Ontario.
Okay, 7 years ago. So 7 years ago you left Canada, Toronto.
Right.
Okay,
No,
I left.
I also work in US.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and where you've been?
I was in Toronto. I left my job at Bank of America or 2014, and since then I have been on an assignment in Bangladesh and kind of working on a World Bank project. So we developed a tool. I kind of engineered a tool and developed it, and now we are actually expanding our tool to do more things. And I have been dreadfully doing the testing by myself because in Bank of America, when I was there, I used to lead a testing team as a project manager. So I'm trying to do the same thing. I developed the tool, but I need a solid hand in testing. And I have been exploring the option of automation there. But then again, I don't have that much of a budget. I don't have that much of a resource. So I was thinking about doing something with it. But your tool looks very good to me. I mean, are you trying to, what's your pricing model? How are you marketing it? You know, you want to tell me a little bit more about it? And if it is something, then I would love to play an important role on behalf of you in Bangladesh, securing a big chunk of market. Because in Bangladesh, I can tell you there are a lot of companies who are interested in testing, but they just don't have the budget to buy, let's say, HP products. HP Mercury, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so those tools are really expensive. Like I remember QTP was over 10,000. While
right.
Yeah, very expensive, especially for developing countries. No, we can work out good pricing. I'll send you document. I have different pricing structure, but even that price I can lower from Bangladesh. So you take a look and tell me what you think. It's a different
No,
structures.
I will find good contacts for you. For example, big corporations who has big footprint and big banks. What we would like for you to do, probably looking, I will probably try to get their testing site and everything, and we would like for you to focus on how they can save money in terms of doing the testing. So if you can show how they can, just like what you have gone through, it would, what you have just gone through right now, for a developer, it may be a week worth of work. So as you can see, how efficient they can be utilizing this tool, and so I can be the launching pad for you. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to say. Otherwise, a lot of those Indian companies come into this market and try to sell American products, like HP products, and government, for them, more money they spend, more money goes in their pocket. So, but there are small companies who can be very benefited by this tool. So, first of all, I like to use my system as a how can I say, success story in Bangladesh. You have many success stories. I like to have a success story in Bangladesh, and with that success story, I like to open up a bigger area for you, because since World Bank is working with me, World Bank can recommend their uh, you know their partners that this is something, their partners, or whoever they lend money to, they can explore. So anyway, I'm really thinking out loud. I don't want you to
No, no, we
um,
can, we can. It's a very good topic. It's a very good topic. We can partner up. You can be like my representative in Bangladesh. I like the idea. Like you have good understanding of testing tools. Like you're not new in the field. You can compare testing tools to other products. Uh,
Right.
like
I mean, your product is really good. I mean, a lot of the areas, I did not have enough time for me to go through and come up with a good analysis and good criteria for me to assess your tool. So based on whatever I need, I kind of pinpointed you, and you pretty much showed everything that I wanted to show in the slide. You know what I'm saying? So which is a good place to start from, because
yeah, no, no,
many a time.
it sounds very good. We can, I can even pay you commission, like for every license you sell in Bangladesh or other countries, doesn't matter. Uh, you can earn commission. Yeah, like I appreciate your efforts, and you have
Thank you. No, no. I mean, there's so much to learn, because for me to be, you can be the technical expert, because nobody can show it like you, how you do. But at one point, I might not find you as much available as you are right now, because your business will expand, and I like to make sure that I have an expertise who can also work like you do, to customize the tool, know the tool back to front, to utilize maximum of its capacity, because you never know what type of questions the customers might ask, and you need to be open enough and flexible enough, and also understand and provide a workaround or provide a solution on the fly for them. So just like
yeah, yeah, exactly. And you and me, we can provide training. We can, like,
right,
let's say
right,
there are companies, they want to start automation, but they don't know how, and we can
right,
quickly bring them up to speed.
right.
We can provide training, professional services. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Andre, I like that idea. I like that idea. I mean, please don't take any other way. I say the necessity is the mother of invention. That is, it is strongly I feel, because I'm actually feeling, because this morning when I was talking with you, I was actually doing the testing, and I was loathing myself that I have to go through and do this thing right now, because the developers gave me the code at the very last minute, and I have a very small window. I have a meeting at 13th of this month, and sorry, 10th of this month, and I need to have my tool polished enough to show it to the World Bank. So that's why the frustration came, and it just happened at the time I got your email, or your LinkedIn knock, Then I said, okay, you know
Yeah,
what?
you
I
know,
better.
everything happens for a purpose. Maybe it's, you know, not a coincidence.
Yes, yes. So you have to forgive me, you know, if I can't yield the type of financial benefit that you might be after. But all I'm trying to say here is that you never know where the next paycheck's gonna come from. You just have to be open up and keep trying. So
Exactly,
I am.
exactly.
Thank you very much for understanding. So Andre, where you used to work in Toronto?
In Toronto, I work in areas company, and I worked for Rolta.
Okay, okay, Reuters. Okay, we used to get data from Reuters because I used to work for a. I
No,
used to work for
not
bank.
Reuters, Rolta. It's not Reuters,
Oh,
Rolta.
okay, okay,
It's a JS system, so it's not a Reuters news system.
I see, I see. And where you used to live in Toronto?
North, Bathurst and Finch,
Oh, Bathurst. Okay, okay,
North
okay.
York,
I used to live in Scarborough.
Scarborough.
But anyway, it's great talking with you. And I think we need to exchange our email because I don't want to communicate through LinkedIn because I don't get to find your email address. I don't get to find your details. So
I'll send you
I
my
like.
email. Yeah, I'll send you my email after the meeting. Okay.
So we'll be connected, and I will try to utilize your system in my tool, the you know, application under test. I have two systems right now, so I like to test it in there to see how it works, and then I would like to start talking with a couple of those companies who actually ran their software development operation from Bangladesh, and they may have a little bit of you know, testing, and many of them would be utilizing Selenium or QTP. Those many of them would be utilizing Selenium, but if your technology is actually taking out the complication that Selenium offers and provides much simplicity, which will be a step forward for them to understand that they will be effectively test their code at a shorter.
Yeah. You can tell them.
Token.
I know companies they like Selenium. Yeah, but for
Right. It's a
Selenium they
free tool.
have to.
Only reason they get it for free, but at the end of the day, they end up wasting a lot more resource in terms of developing and maintaining.
Right.
So,
Because on top of Selenium, they need to develop their own framework.
right.
They cannot use
Yes.
it like they cannot data drive it. They have to write a lot of code. They have to write their own framework. So at the end of the day, yeah, it will be more expensive for them to use Selenium than to buy my streamlined standalone tool.
Okay. Okay. I still have.
And if they compare it to QTP, yes, QTP might have more features, but still in QTP you have to take more steps to develop test automation. I worked with QTP. It's a good tool, but you have to jump through more hoops than you do it with this tool. Because like I'm myself kind of a lazy person, so I try to optimize it to the maximum, so you can do minimum steps to automate your test cases. QTP can do a lot of things, but it takes more steps, and it's much more expensive. You can even tell those companies it's like 10 times more expensive. So they can buy
Right.
10 licenses for Excel.js and only one license for QTP. So we have big advantage in terms of cost.
Okay. Okay. Now, I mean, there is a huge area, and Bangladesh is a country where a lot of developers are coming out, and a lot of software companies are established here. One thing, I have been here almost 6 years now, 5.5 years now, and I have been in the software industry for throughout the time. And what I have found is that yes, they do a lot of time in development, lot of time in development. They are poor in documentation, they are poor in BA, and they are very poor in testing. So that has been the case for it. I mean, their learning is a process that they have to go through in terms of you know, creating a mature product. So I think they're behind, and sooner or later the focus will come here because all the companies will require quality code and they will demand what type of testing you're doing when they bid for an application or a bid for a software development effort. You know what I'm saying? So that
Yes.
thing, it's just a matter of time because big companies will be starting companies. Okay, we will give you the works, we will give you the development effort, but how are you going to test it? And at that time, they wouldn't have anything to answer unless they have a good tools and good understanding in testing process.
Right, right. Okay, looking forward. Yeah, looking forward for
Oh,
additional
thank you very
development.
much.
Yeah.
So are you sending me the zip file?
You can download
Are you,
from GitHub page. From GitHub
okay,
page, you can
yes,
download.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
I will send you the pricing information, and I will send you my email.
thank you very much. It's good talking with you. Thank you, Andre.
Yeah,
Take
same
care.
here. Thank you. Bye bye.
Okay.